Just like yesterday, we're going to be combining fractions, only today we're going to be subtracting them. So I'm going to go over some examples with subtraction, but just know this, guys. When you combine two fractions, the denominator, well, you got to find a common denominator like we did yesterday, but you do not subtract the denominator, just like we did not add the denominator. So I want to draw another example illustrating this concept. So just do your best on your paper to try to draw this. Thank you. Let's say you have a cup that's full. Let's do the 2/3 again. So this is 2/3 full of water. Now let's say you're cooking or something, and I don't know exactly I don't know how I could apply this, but let's just say that you want to subtract. You want to take away a quarter of a cup of water. Let's use purple again. So if you had a 2/3 cup of water and you subtracted a quarter cup, how much water would you be left with? Actually, let's just make it blue because it's going to be confusing. Water's blue. Yeah. Yep, that's right. So we're going to see how to get that. Now, again, it's hard to see what the answer is just because 2/3 and 1/4 aren't really compatible. So we need to break them down into even number of pieces, which, again, like we talked about the previous lesson, would be 3 times 4, right? So that's what? That's 12 pieces. So let's take the first cup and divide it into 12 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be 7 and 8. And then 9, 10, 11, 12. So we actually have 8 out of 12, 8/12 cup of water. How about the other one? 1, 2, that would be 3, right? And then 3/12, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, do one down here, 10, 11, and 12. So that would be 4/12.
You just find the least common multiple for the denominator, right?
That's right, yep. We're going to do that. Today we're just going to multiply straight across. We're not going to worry too much about the least common multiple, but that's the easiest way. So if we have 8/12 cup of water, and we're subtracting 4/12, now it's easy to see. I did something wrong here.
Yeah, it's not 4, it's 3.
It's 3, you're right. It's 3. I knew something wasn't right. That's 3/12 cups of water.
You're just sitting back here looking at it.
If we have 8/12 and we're subtracting 3/12, then how much of a cup of water do we have? We have 5/12. What would that look like? Let's draw the cup. Again, we can divide this into 12 pieces. It's going to be hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 5/12 will just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how much water we have left if we subtracted those two, which makes sense if you visualize it that way. Here's 8/12. Here we're subtracting 3/12. So obviously we'd have this 5 right here in between. These 5/12 in between would be what's left over. And so that's why we want to multiply the denominators. And then just subtract like we did with adding. So let's do a few more examples. Let's say we have 5/8 minus, we will do 1/4. Now, like he said, there's a shortcut here, which we're not going to go over today. I want to teach you guys the direct way because some people have a hard time finding the least common multiple. So just like when we were adding, we're going to take the 5/8 and we're going to multiply by the denominator on the right, which is 4. Okay? So it's going to be 5/8 times 4 over 4. Okay, then we're going to take the right fraction and multiply the left denominator. Good. Yes. It's the same thing, except you're subtracting. Exactly. All right, so step 3, we're going to combine by subtracting the numerators. Remember, if you do this right, the denominators will be the same. So over here we have 5 times 4, which is 20, over 32. Mm-hmm. So if we're just subtracting the numerators, we do not need to subtract the denominator, just like when we looked at the water, right? It's the same number of pieces total. We're just subtracting the parts, which is the numerators. So 20 minus 8 is 12 over 32. Are we done?
No, because you can reduce them.
Good. Step 4, just like before, reduce. What goes into both 12 and 32? The biggest number. 12 doesn't go into 32.
6 could.
4. 6 cannot because it doesn't go into 32. So we're going to divide top and bottom by 4. And we get 3 over 8. Any questions on that? So that means that 5 over 8 minus 1/4 is equal to 3 over 8. Next question. What happens if you have a whole number? So let's say we have 3 minus, let's just do a half. This one's pretty obvious, right? I mean, you could probably figure this one out. But if you have a whole number, what should you do with it? Put it over 1. Okay. So we're going to multiply the left fraction by the right denominator and the right by the left. Good job.
1 over 2 times 1 over 1.
Yeah. 1 over 2 times 1 over 1. So on the left, you get 6 over 2. And on the right, you get 1 over 2. And now we can combine them by subtracting the numerators. What's 6 minus 1? 5 over 2. And no, guys, you do not need to convert that to a mixed number. That's already reduced. And so step 4 is complete. I want to go over one more example with you. You can have a negative answer. And that's if the first fraction is smaller than the second fraction. Okay. So we're going to have 5 over 6 minus, let's just do 7 over 8. Why not? So what's 5 over 6 going to be multiplied? We're multiplying it by the right denominator. Be multiplied by what? 8 over 8. Thank you. And how about the 7 over 8? We're going to multiply by the left denominator. Okay, so 5 times 8 is 40. 6 times 8 is what? 48, okay? And then on the right, we have 7 times 6, which is 42. 6 times 8, which is 48. So notice something. the number here is smaller than this number. So you're going to have a negative, okay? If you're subtracting a bigger number, the answer is going to be negative. With that being said, we're going to combine the numerators. What is 40 minus 42? Yeah, 42 minus 40 is 2. 40 minus 42 is negative 2. Final step, we need to reduce.
Negative 1 over negative
How do you reduce it?
2.
By 2, right. Is the answer going to be negative or positive?
Negative.
Okay, so divide the top and bottom by 2. And you get negative 1 over 24. So that means 5/6 minus 7/8 is negative 1 over 24. And that's going to happen if the left fraction is smaller than the right one.